Hey guys, hello and welcome, Tony Bing here. For today's team up video I'll be having a look at the recently released Doctor Strange. Now before we even start this video I will say straight away that he is a reskin of Clea. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Clea is a great team up, she has a lot she can offer, and also at the moment with the film everyone really loves a bit of Doctor Strange, don't they? So let's get him called in and we'll run through these skills. Here we go, teleports in. There will be a sense of familiarity with this if you played Strange, because really the skills you'll be firing off are skills you've seen in game very often, but we'll still break them all down and we'll run through what setup's best for them. So we're starting off with Daggers of Daviroff. That's got mental damage, it's 5 hits with a cooldown of 4 seconds. Now tied into that is explosive orbs, and what that'll do is as each of the daggers are hitting you get a mental damage explosion going off there, so we'll activate that. And there we go, you can see them there, all simple enough. Now the next skill we have Flames of the Fultine, so it's mental damage, dot, area duration 4 seconds and a cooldown of 6 seconds, so that's quite a nice uptime it has on it. Nice visual as well once we see it. There we go, very nice looking skill there. And following on from that we have Astral Clone. So what this does is it will call in an astral version of Strange and it'll start firing off his bolts and his daggers. Now as we place more points into it, the bolts and daggers damage goes up, and so does the health of the team up. The damage reduction and the duration stay the same, so damage reduction 30%, duration 10 seconds with a cooldown of 20 seconds, so not bad uptime there. And there we go, there it is. He's firing off the skills. Now we're on to the bits that make this character interesting, all the buffs that he offers. So you've got Seals of the Vishanti. So this will offer, and it's over a huge range once it activates, as you'll see. The visual's possibly a wee bit over the top, but it offers toughness and power with an area duration starting at 5.3 seconds. But as we place points into it, duration goes up to a pretty healthy 8.8 with a cooldown of 15 seconds. There we go, nice enough. And following on from that, to add more utility, we have Shield of the Seraphim. So with this, when it activates you take 10% less damage for 3 seconds and you regenerate health and gain the Constitution buff. Now as you place points into it, the amount of health you regenerate goes up, the damage mitigation stays the same, and the Constitution as it's kind of built in, that wouldn't change at all, but the buff duration goes up to 8.5 seconds with a 15-second cooldown, so we'll activate that. There we go, there we can see a little buff over him, looks nice the visual for that one. Now to finish off the active skills we've got Vapours of Valtar, so it's mental damage, Perm Lightning Strike, so if there's lots of enemies on the screen this will fire off and hit them all. It won't look as impressive with one target here however, but if there's a lot of ads it really can look quite nice this. So the area duration is 5 seconds with a cooldown of 30 seconds, we'll put full points into it so you can see the scaling. And there we go there. Looks nice, but when you've got it firing off all over the screen it really does look quite impressive. Now I'll put points into the setup that I personally would use, and then I'll run over why I'd be using that as well. So Daggers of Daviroff is really quite hard hitting, so that's the reason we're maxing that one out. We're placing 12 points into Flames of the Fultine. The reason for this is that we want to really use Strange for his utility side of things, because you do have damage team ups in the game, so if you've got one that can offer utility you may as well make the most of it. Now as long as you're running content that you're not grouped up for and you're not getting the toughness and power and constitution buffs from other characters, then I'd put the full 15 points into Shield of the Seraphim and also Seal of the Vishanti. If you are running content where you're getting these free buffs, your points are wasted, and what I would do is I would take them and I'd put the points into Astral Clone and also put them into his signature, and with that he really can do a healthy amount of damage. Now I'll let all the skills fire off while I talk about the passive side of things. So you've got Gift of the Fultine. So with this it's maximum, well I'm on Doom so it's maximum power and magic, but it would be maximum spirit 75, which really is a nice amount, and also spirit cost reduction as well, they're at 3%. Now one character I actually really like this on, it is useful on a lot of characters, but one character I really like it on is Vision. With it, it allows me to run a basic build and the 3% spirit reduction actually equates to a reduction in his sig as well, so that's really could be a good call, to be honest. Now if we look at the benefit will team up as away skills, he has 3 of them, so reset the skills so we can go into them and see the scaling on them. Right, so we have Flames of the Faltine, and what that will do is that then turns into Faltine Inferno once we place points into it, and really that just increases, the more points you put into it, it increases the chance for it to activate. Now following that up, we then have Astral Clone, and tied into Astral Clone is Astral Assistance. Same idea, the more points you put into it, the higher the chance for it to activate. And then finally Shield of the Seraphim, which in turn becomes Seraphim's Grace. Same idea once more again, more points you get into it, the higher the chance. So the passive setup I would be using here, I'm putting full points into the 3 of these, and then what that's doing, it's leaving a nice round amount for the 3 of these, so we've got the equal chance for them to proc. So you're looking at a 9% chance in each of these to proc here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've watched my Clay video, then this one will seem very similar, unfortunately, but it can't really be helped. If you did enjoy the video, please feel free to share, like and subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at TonyBingGaming if you get any suggestions for the next team up video, and I'll see all you guys again soon.